the point is that some years back, about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, Harvard Biological School of Science released a big reveal. For years and years, biologists used to claim that there was a section of our DNA, the mapping of our DNA, that was junk. They called it junk DNA. Just a few years back, Harvard Biological, the School of Biology, they released a big report that says there's no such thing as junk DNA. We know what it is now. It's a series of switches. All of that they're switches that you can turn off and on. And they gave the example in this Harvard study. I read it from my pulpit. I put it in a couple of my books. They said, for example, like a salamander, you can cut its tail off and it can regenerate itself because we've identified in the DNA that that switch has been turned on. We just don't know how to turn them off and on again. So we need to find out, because this could mean we humans could live forever if we could regenerate. And what that means is without God. This was in Harvard University stuff. And then the people that were commenting on it, other scientists. So then they said, and I've got the report, that this technology of learning how to turn the switches off and on was being done by the latest research, this is years ago, of mRNA technology, messenger RNA, that goes into cell to cell, DNA strand to DNA strand, strips the code, recodes it, takes the message back. So now we need to find out how to turn these switches off and on and how to send those messages into the cells. So I'm reading all of that, I'm teaching and preaching it, I'm putting it in books, and I'm prophesying, not even knowing it, just saying that soon there's going to be some kind of massive experiment on this, because they're desperately, these World Economic Forum and One World Orders and the Great Reset, they desperately want this control. They want this planet. They want this to be planet heaven without Jesus. And so, but let me get to COVID.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that we're at war with China.
Well, that's it. So my point, but my point is important here. And so you asked me what I thought. I think that we just came through a global experiment with mRNA and what it can and cannot do and what we do and do not know at this point. Now, it was wrapped around a virus, and COVID, probably created in a lab. I say probably, I'm trying to be politically correct and I shouldn't do that. Created in a lab. Okay? But at the same time,
killed 7 million people.
I just can't help but to believe that they wouldn't have that opportunity. Never let a tragedy go to waste, right? Never let a catastrophe go to waste. I can't believe that they would have that opportunity and not do some massive research in the midst of it on what can we turn off, what can we turn on, what messages can we send, what can we create with this newfound technology. So I think we've just seen the tip of the iceberg. Plus the governments of the world learned what drove the humanity, the global humanity, is the fear of death. Hebrews 2 says that is Satan's power, is the fear of death over humanity. And the next verse after that says, and I'm paraphrasing, but the next verse says, but Jesus has conquered that for those of us that know and love him. He has conquered that fear. We don't have to fear it. Greater is he who is in us than he who is in the world. But all of that's happening now. It's all spiritual. It's masked around the whole technology era that we're in. So what did we hear when COVID hit? We've got a new vaccine, mRNA, which Harvard had been talking about a few years before, about with that technology, we can learn how to turn switches off and on.
Wow. The other thing is...
And now billions of people have been used as test.
I like to keep it simple.
That's right.
It's always about the money.
Yes, it's always
about the money.
Always.
They have over 1 billion people. They're the biggest market. Why do you think all of America and everyone is allowing China to get away with killing the Uyghurs and doing all these things, Nike and all these different places? Because it's always about the money.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. That is what keeps it so simple.
And money brings power.
It's the money and the power.
That's right.
Exactly.